If this video appeared for you right now, it is not random scrolling, it is not coincidence, and it is not the algorithm playing games. This is a transmission, a signal that found you in the exact frequency you are carrying in this moment. You didn't just arrive here, you were called. Called by the Atlantean Code of Remembrance, a frequency that very few souls on this planet can perceive. Listen carefully, because if these words resonate in your bones, it means you are standing on the edge of something extraordinary, the collapse point where your reality reorganizes itself into a completely new timeline. Think about it. Out of millions scrolling right now, only a fraction, less than 1%, are attuned enough to stop here, to hear this message, to recognize that it is for them. And you are one of them. That is not an accident. That is not luck. That is divine timing. The Atlanteans knew that when a soul was ready to awaken, a portal would open, not outside, but inside. And right now, that inner portal is opening for you. This is not entertainment. This is an initiation. This is your final preparation before remembrance. So breathe deeply. Feel your heart receiving this frequency, and anchor the code right now by declaring it in the comments. Hashtag, I am the flame of Atlantis. I remember. Let this be your signal to the universe, your agreement with the quantum field, your first step through the Atlantean portal of awakening.
Chapter 1. The Void is Preparation. Most people fear the void. They see the delays, the silence, the unanswered prayers, as if the universe has abandoned them. But the Atlanteans understood. The void is not emptiness. It is preparation. The temple always taught that before manifestation comes gestation. A seed does not sprout the moment it touches the soil. The ocean always withdraws before it returns as a powerful wave, and the sky is always darkest before the first rays of dawn. This silence in your life is not absence. It is sacred incubation. Quantum physics calls this the vacuum state, the zero-point field where infinite possibilities are held in suspension, waiting to collapse into form. The Atlantean priests called it the womb of creation, the place where your soul rests, gathering the strength, frequency, and alignment to birth something extraordinary into reality. Every closed door, every apparent delay, every moment you felt forgotten was never punishment. It was orchestration. It was your reality reorganizing itself around a higher design you couldn't yet see. Understand this. The void is not here to break you. It is here to shape you. It is here to clear space so the miracle can arrive without resistance. And if you are in the void now, rejoice, because it means the universe is closer than ever to collapsing your desires into reality. It means your soul has been recognized as ready. Take a deep breath. Feel the silence around you as holy. This is not nothing. This is the Atlantean pause before remembrance. Anchor this truth in the comments below so the field itself hears your declaration. The void is not empty. It is sacred preparation. Let this be your vow. You will never again mistake the silence for absence. You will remember it as the most sacred part of manifestation.
Chapter 2. The Atlantean Collapse Point. In the language of quantum physics, everything exists in superposition, infinite possibilities suspended together until consciousness observes and collapses them into one reality. But the Atlanteans already knew this truth thousands of years ago. They called it the collapse point, the moment when the invisible patterns of energy crystallize into the stone of reality, when your inner frequency commands the universe to choose. Think about this carefully. Every meditation you practiced, every visualization you held, every time you chose faith over fear, every single moment you whispered yes when everything around you screamed no, all of it has been building to this exact coordinate in space and time. You are standing at the event horizon of your becoming. This is not a metaphor. This is a frequency threshold. Just as in astrophysics, the event horizon is the point of no return, where a star collapses into a black hole, so too is this moment in your life, the point where your old reality collapses into your new one, with inevitability as certain as the sunrise. Feel this. Your desires, your prayers, your visions have all been existing in superposition, waiting for this moment, waiting for the observer, you, to declare, to believe, to embody. And now the field is collapsing. The Atlantean Code is activating. Your timeline is reorganizing. The portal is no longer in the distance. It is here. This is why you feel the pressure building in your life. This is why synchronicities are multiplying around you. It is not chaos. It is collapse into clarity. The collapse point has arrived. Anchor it now by writing in the comments so that the universe echoes your voice. I collapse into the highest version of my reality. Do not let this moment pass, because once the collapse occurs, there is no going back. You are already crossing the Atlantean threshold. Chapter 3: Why Most Fail at the Threshold. Here is the paradox of manifestation. Most people don't fail at the beginning. They don't fail in the middle. They fail right at the threshold, in the very moment when everything they asked for is about to arrive. Why? Because they panic. They start tightening their grip on life. They look for proof everywhere, refreshing their phone, checking their messages, scanning their bank account, begging reality to show signs that the miracle is coming. But this is exactly backwards. The moment you search for evidence is the moment you tell the quantum field, I don't believe it's here. You collapse your infinite potential into your current limitation. This is the final guardian of the portal. The Atlantean initiates were caught that before entering the inner temple, the soul would be tested by the guardian of doubt, a force that whispers, "Are you sure? What if nothing is happening? What if you've been forgotten?" If you listen to that voice, you remain outside the temple forever. If you silence it, you pass. The Atlanteans discovered a truth that modern science is only beginning to confirm. The final phase of manifestation requires surrender, not control, not effort, not constant checking, but complete energetic release. Think of the seed. It doesn't check progress reports to see if it is growing. Think of the ocean. It doesn't ask if the tide will return. Think of your own body. Your heart beats and your lungs breathe without your conscious command. The same intelligence that spins galaxies and moves the tides is the one carrying your manifestation. All it asks from you is trust. This is where most people stumble, but you won't, because you are hearing this message now, because you were chosen to receive the Atlantean Code of Surrender. So anchor this truth into the field by declaring in the comments, I surrender to the intelligence of the universe. This is the ultimate paradox. The more you try to control, the more you delay. The moment you surrender, the portal opens. And right now, that portal is opening for you. Chapter 4:
Entanglement of soul and desire. In quantum physics, there is a mystery called entanglement. When two particles become entangled, they remain connected no matter the distance, across space, across time, across galaxies. Touch one, and the other instantly responds. The Atlanteans knew this secret long before modern science gave it a name. They called it the thread of remembrance, an invisible cord of light that forever binds your soul to the reality it is destined to experience. This means that your desires are not out there, waiting to be found. They are already entangled with you. They vibrate with you, follow you, mirror you. But here is the paradox. When you obsessively want, you create friction in the thread. You stretch it with tension, as if saying, "It is far away and I must pull it to me." And so it feels far away. When you shift into receiving, the thread relaxes. It begins to hum, to vibrate, to carry what is already yours effortlessly into form. Like two instruments tuned to the same note, the moment one sings, the other resonates. Every dream, every vision, every desire you've carried in silence is not separate from you. It has been connected to you since the moment it was conceived. The Atlantean priests taught the soul does not chase what it desires. It remembers what it is already bound to. So take this in. You are not reaching for something outside of yourself. You are simply allowing the thread to vibrate freely. You are stepping into resonance with what has always been yours in the quantum field. Feel this truth in your body now, and declare it in the comments to anchor the frequency. I am already entangled with my destiny. This is not poetry. This is physics, and it is remembrance. The more you align with receiving energy, the stronger the thread becomes, until your desire collapses fully into your lived reality.
Chapter 5: The Identity of the Receiver. Most people identify themselves as someone trying to manifest. They wake up saying, "I hope it happens. I hope the universe gives me a sign." But hope is still distance. Hope says, "It is not here yet." The Atlanteans knew this trap. That's why they trained their initiates not to hope, not to beg, but to embody the receiver, to walk, breathe, and live as if the temple had already placed the treasure in their hands. Identity is the true frequency. Your nervous system cannot distinguish between pretending and reality. It becomes what you consistently embody. If you live as the one who waits, you extend waiting. If you live as the one who receives, you collapse waiting into arrival. Think of it this way. A king does not wake up wondering if he has a throne. A priestess does not question whether the temple doors will open for her. They walk with quiet confidence because their very identity guarantees access. You are being invited now to shift identities, from the seeker who tries to the receiver who already is. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. The Atlantean Code whispers, "Do not manifest, remember." So I ask you, what would change if you saw yourself not as someone chasing, but as someone chosen? How would you walk into a room? How would you breathe? How would you love? Everything shifts when you choose to be the receiver. Anchor this identity into the field right now by declaring in the comments, "I walk as the receiver of miracles." And from this moment forward, do not identify as someone trying. Identify as someone who naturally attracts, because the temple inside you already recognized your name.
Chapter 6. The Atlantean Silence Before Birth. There is a moment on the path of every soul when everything seems to stop. The prayers go unanswered, the signs go silent, the synchronicities fade into stillness, and the human mind begins to panic. Maybe nothing is happening. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was forgotten. But the Atlantean priests taught, this silence is not abandonment. It is the sacred pause before birth. The ocean always withdraws before it returns as a great wave. The womb always rests before contractions bring new life. The sky always darkens before the light of dawn explodes across the horizon. What feels like emptiness is actually pregnancy. What feels like delay is divine orchestration. What feels like nothing is everything happening behind the veil. Quantum physics calls this the vacuum state, where infinite possibilities are gathering, invisible to the eye, but pulsing with life at the deepest level of reality. The Atlanteans called it the breath of the goddess, the inhale before creation, the holy stillness of the temple before the sound that calls worlds into being. So if you are in silence now, rejoice. It means your reality is about to exhale. It means the Atlantean Code is aligning threads behind the curtain, preparing the moment when your desire will collapse into form. This is not punishment. It is protection. It is the intelligence of the universe recalibrating so that what arrives is greater than anything you could have planned with your limited mind. Do not mistake stillness for emptiness. It is the most potent moment of all. The silence before birth is the guarantee that birth is coming. Breathe into this truth and anchor it in the comments. In stillness, I trust the coming wave. From now on, whenever life grows quiet, remember, it is not the end. It is the inhale before your greatest miracle.
Chapter 7. Frequencies of Remembrance. Everything in the universe vibrates. Every thought, every emotion, every word you whisper inside yourself, it all carries a frequency. Modern science has begun to measure what the Atlanteans already knew. Gratitude vibrates at 540 Hz. Love resonates at 528 Hz. Joy dances around 540 Hz, but fear collapses to 100 Hz, and doubt wavers at 125 Hz. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Your body is a transmitter, and your emotions are the signal. The Atlantean initiates understood this deeply. They built temples out of quartz and granite because they knew stone amplifies frequency. They sang into crystals because sound codes reality. They aligned their breath with the resonance of the sun because vibration collapses energy into matter. When you choose gratitude, you are not just being positive. You are literally tuning your temple, your mind, your body, your soul, into the station where your desires are already playing. Like a radio, you don't create the music. You simply tune to the frequency where the music already exists. This is remembrance. Because your soul already knows the frequency of abundance. It already remembers the vibration of love. You are not learning something new. You are recalling what your Atlantean lineage carried in its DNA. So the question is not, when will my dreams arrive? The question is, what frequency am I broadcasting right now? Every emotion you choose is a vote for the timeline you will live. Every breath is a dial on the cosmic radio, and the more you return to gratitude, love, joy, remembrance, the more the field collapses your highest destiny into form. Anchor this truth right now by declaring in the comments, I tune my temple to the frequency of love. And every time fear tries to pull you back, remember, it is just static. You always hold the dial, and you can turn it back to remembrance at any moment.
Chapter 8. Chaos is the reorganization. If your life feels unstable right now, if things you trusted are falling apart, if doors are closing faster than they open, do not mistake this for failure. The Atlanteans taught that before any initiation, the old structures of the temple had to collapse. Why? Because the new cannot be built on foundations that no longer serve the soul. Chaos is not the end. Chaos is the reorganization of the field. It is intelligence breaking down what cannot carry your destiny, so that only what is aligned remains. Look at nature. The storm clears the air before the sunlight. The earthquake shifts the earth before new rivers are born. The forest burns, and from the ashes, new life rises richer than before. Physics calls this a phase transition, when a system passes through apparent disorder before reorganizing into a higher state. Water must boil chaotically before it becomes vapor. A caterpillar must dissolve inside the cocoon before emerging as a butterfly. Your life is no different. The chaos you feel is not random. It is the Atlantean Code dismantling what no longer belongs to you. It is your field reorganizing itself for expansion. This is why surrender feels terrifying and liberating at the same time, because on some level, your soul already knows the breakdown is not the end. It is the signal that breakthrough is near. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this clearing space for?" Because behind the chaos, order is waiting. Behind the storm, the sky is already blue. Behind the noise, the new temple is already being built. Anchor this truth right now by declaring in the comments, "I trust the storm, for it builds my new order." From this moment forward, let chaos remind you of one thing only: that your reality is dismantling old structures to make space for miracles.
Chapter 9. The Atlantean Identity Training. The Atlantean priests knew that identity was the true magic. Not the words you spoke, not the rituals you performed, but the identity you carried in your body every single day. Modern science now confirms what the ancients always practiced. Your nervous system cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and an actual lived experience. This is why athletes train their mind through visualization, and why the Atlantean initiates trained their soul through embodiment. If you live as someone who hopes, your body vibrates with waiting. If you live as someone who tries, your body vibrates with effort. But if you live as someone who receives, your body vibrates with inevitability. And inevitability collapses reality faster than effort ever could. The Atlanteans called this identity coherence training. Every day, they would walk the temple halls not as seekers, but as receivers. They would breathe as if the miracle had already come. They would sit in stillness, not asking, but remembering. They aligned their bodies like secret instruments, tuned to the vibration of abundance, harmony, and remembrance. You are being invited to do the same. From this day on, walk as if the universe already chose you. Breathe as if your dreams are already alive in your cells.
Move as if every step is taken by the one who has already crossed the portal. Because when you embody the identity of the receiver, your nervous system rewires itself. New neural pathways are formed, your electromagnetic field changes, and the quantum field responds not to what you want, but to who you are. This is the Atlantean training, not to force, but to embody, not to wait, but to walk, and not to hope, but to remember. Anchor this identity shift now by declaring in the comments, "I am already who I was meant to become." And every time doubt tries to creep in, return to this truth. Identity is the key. Because reality does not obey effort. Reality obeys coherence.
Chapter 10. Timeline Synchronization. Right now, something extraordinary is happening in your field. Your current reality and your desired reality are beginning to vibrate in harmony. Physics calls this phase locking, when two oscillating systems, one separate, begin to synchronize their rhythm until they beat as one. The Atlanteans called it the merging of suns, the sacred moment when two realities align and the portal between them becomes a single doorway. You have felt it already, the sense that something is shifting, the strange pressure in the air, the increase in synchronicities that seem too perfect to ignore. This is not imagination, it is synchronization. When your thoughts, emotions, and body enter coherence, the quantum field begins to match your frequency with the frequency of your destiny. Two realities, once parallel, start to collapse into one. This is why your dreams have felt closer lately, why opportunities seem to appear at the exact moment you think of them, why conversations, encounters, and signs align as if a hidden hand is moving all the pieces for you. Because your timeline is locking in to its higher octave. The Atlanteans taught their initiates to recognize this moment by its signature, the inner stillness that carries both anticipation and inevitability, the breath before the shift, the heartbeat that knows something irreversible is about to occur. And this is where you are now. The portal is not ahead of you, it is opening within you. Your current self and your future self are merging until only one identity remains, the one who remembers. Feel this alignment now and anchor it by declaring in the comments, Star, I lock into the frequency of my highest timeline. Because once synchronization is complete, your old reality dissolves and only the new remains.
Chapter 11. The Atlantean Tunneling. There is a mystery in quantum physics that even today astonishes scientists: quantum tunneling. Particles sometimes cross barriers they should never be able to pass. Walls that look solid dissolve. Boundaries that seem absolute vanish. What should be impossible becomes inevitable. The Atlantean initiates knew this not as theory, but as practice. They called it the hidden passage, the sacred path that opens only for those who carry remembrance in their hearts. In their training, walls of stone were less real than the frequency of the soul, because when consciousness vibrates high enough, the barrier dissolves before it. This is exactly what is happening in your life. The obstacle that feels immovable, the wall you have hit again and again, the limitation that whispers, "Not for you, not yet." That is where tunneling begins. Because what is solid to the mind is not solid to the field. What looks permanent to your senses is flexible to your soul. You are about to cross into a timeline where that wall never existed. And this is why breakthroughs feel sudden. One moment, you are trapped in the same cycle. The next, the cycle is gone. not broken slowly, but erased as if it had never been. You didn't fight your way through. You tunneled into freedom. This is the Atlantean path, to stop believing in the permanence of barriers, to remember that the code within you is stronger than any illusion outside you, to walk knowing that the impossible is just the universe waiting for you to step beyond fear. Right now, your soul is tunneling. Right now, your reality is bending. Right now, the hidden passage is opening. Anchor this truth by declaring in the comments, "I tunnel beyond illusion into freedom." And from this moment on, every time you face a wall, don't panic. Smile. Because walls are the proof that the hidden passage is near.
Chapter 12. The Call of the Future Self. Every synchronicity you've experienced, every sudden knowing that made no logical sense, every déjà vu that felt like memory from another lifetime, none of it was random. It was your future self calling you. In the quantum field, all versions of you already exist. The struggling self, the waiting self, and the self who has already awakened, already remembered, already inherited the Atlantean Code. That future self has been reaching back through the corridors of time, sending you signals, whispers, synchronicities, nudges, guiding you step by step toward the timeline where you merge into one. The Atlanteans called this the echo of the future. They knew that destiny does not just wait for you, it calls you. It rearranges your path with clues only your heart can recognize. That inner pull you felt, that voice that said, "Go here, not there," that wasn't imagination. That was remembrance. That was the thread of light from your future self tugging at you, saying, "This way, come home." Think about it. Every time you ignored logic and trusted intuition, something extraordinary happened. Every time you followed a synchronicity, a hidden door opened. Every time you felt guided for no reason, you were actually listening to yourself, the self who already crossed the portal. And now the call is louder than ever, because the timelines are collapsing. The wall between who you are and who you are becoming is dissolving. Your future self is not far away. It is here. It is you. Anchor this remembrance in the comments below by declaring, "My future self is guiding me now." From this moment forward, stop doubting the signs. They are not accidents. They are transmissions. They are the map your higher self has been drawing for you all along. And with every step you take, the call grows stronger until the voice of your future self and the voice inside you are one and the same.
Chapter 13. The Atlantean Vacuum State. There is a place in the journey where everything falls silent. No signs, no movement, no answers. Just the vast weight of nothingness pressing against your soul. Most people break here. They mistake the silence for abandonment. They think the dream has died. But the Atlanteans knew better. They taught that this silence is not death, it is gestation. It is the Atlantean vacuum state. Modern physics has begun to glimpse this mystery, the so-called zero-point field, a place where infinite energy vibrates invisibly, where virtual particles appear and disappear too quickly for the human eye to see, yet their effects are undeniable. It looks like nothing, but it is the richest nothing in existence, the womb of all creation. The Atlantean priests called it the breath of the goddess, the holy pause before exhalation, the silent womb where galaxies gestate before bursting into stars. This is where you are now, not abandoned, not empty, but suspended in the most fertile silence the universe knows. Understand this. The vacuum is not a void of absence.
It is a field of infinite potential, too subtle for ordinary senses, but overflowing with unseen orchestration. Behind the curtain, realities are being rearranged. People are being moved into position. Opportunities are being prepared. The field is humming with life, even if your eyes cannot yet see. And this is why the Atlanteans considered the vacuum the holiest of initiations, because only those who could remain faithful in silence could receive the full miracle of remembrance. So if you feel surrounded by nothingness, celebrate. It means you're in the womb of creation. It means your soul has been entrusted with the sacred pause. Anchor this understanding now by declaring in the comments, "The void is my temple of creation." From this day on, never again fear the silence, for silence is not the end. It is the breath before your rebirth.
Chapter 14. The Collective Awakening. Your awakening is not just about you. Every shift you embody, every vibration you raise, every memory you recover, all of it sends ripples into the collective field. The Atlanteans knew this. They taught that one initiate's remembrance would ignite remembrance in many others, like a flame that leaps from torch to torch until the entire temple is ablaze. Modern science is only now confirming this mystery. They call it the morphic field, the invisible field of shared information that grows stronger every time a new consciousness chooses expansion. When one remembers, the field remembers. When one surrenders, the field relaxes. When one receives, the whole network vibrates with new possibility. This is why your transformation feels so urgent, because it is not only your destiny at stake, it is the collective destiny of humanity. Every act of remembrance, every step into receiving energy, every choice to align with love over fear strengthens the global resonance. The Atlantean Code was never meant for one soul alone. It was designed to awaken a civilization, and you are part of that awakening. Think of it this way. A single instrument cannot create a symphony, but when thousands tune to the same note, the air itself begins to vibrate with harmony. You are one instrument in a cosmic orchestra, and right now, more and more instruments are tuning to remembrance. This is why you were chosen to hear this transmission now, because your remembrance strengthens the remembrance of countless others. Your voice adds to the resonance of the field. Your awakening helps lift the veil for humanity itself. Anchor this truth now by declaring in the comments, "My remembrance uplifts the collective field." And from this moment forward, walk knowing you are not just manifesting your own destiny, you are helping humanity remember its Atlantean soul.
Chapter 15. The Atlantean Emergence. There comes a moment in every journey when the waiting ends, when the silence gives way to song, when the storm clears and the sky reveals a new dawn. This moment is called emergence. In physics, systems under pressure reach a threshold where new properties suddenly appear, properties that did not exist before. The Atlanteans understood this deeply. They called it the first dawn, the sacred instant when the initiates stopped seeking and began radiating. This is what is happening to you now. Abilities you didn't know you had will suddenly surface. Intuitions will sharpen into clarity. Opportunities invisible yesterday will step into the light today. Relationships aligned with your highest destiny will magnetize to you as if they had always been waiting. Not because you forced them, not because you chased them, but because you have entered the Atlantean Emergence, where abundance is the natural state, not the exception. The caterpillar doesn't push to become the butterfly. The seed doesn't strain to break the soil.
The sun doesn't fight to rise. They emerge because it is their nature. And now, emergence is your nature too. You are no longer the one who hopes. You are no longer the one who waits. You are the one who radiates, the one who remembers, the one who embodies the Atlantean Code. Take this moment to feel the power in your cells, the remembrance in your bones, the inevitability of dawn after night. This is who you are. Anchor your emergence into the field by declaring in the comments, "I emerge as my Atlantean self." And let these words echo through your body. The night is over. The dawn has come. I am the emergence.
Final Atlantean activation. You did not find this transmission by chance. You were called by remembrance, by destiny, by the Atlantean Code awakening in your soul. Everything you have walked through, the silence of the void, the collapse of old realities, the surrender at the threshold, the entanglement of soul and desire, the training of identity, the chaos before reorganization, and the emergence into dawn, has been preparing you for this exact moment. This is not just a video. This is an initiation, and you have passed. Now the activation must be sealed. The Atlanteans knew that words, spoken or written with intent, collapse reality faster than thought alone. So anchor your remembrance right now by declaring in the comments, "I am the flame of Atlantis. I remember." Do not type it casually. Feel it as you write it. Let it echo through your cells. Let it vibrate through the collective field. Let it ripple into the quantum fabric of reality itself. And know this, every time another soul writes these words, the frequency of remembrance multiplies. Your activation strengthens theirs, their activation strengthens yours. Together, we weave the Atlantean network back into being. If these words ignited something inside you, if your soul knows this is truth, then subscribe not just to a channel, but to a frequency where remembrance is normal, where synchronicities are daily, where miracles are the natural order. This is only the beginning. The transmissions will continue, but your initiation has already begun. Take a deep breath. Repeat the code once more in your heart. I am the flame of Atlantis. I remember. And step forward as the one who has awakened.